What is going on, guys? It's Tony, and in this one, we had the Colorado Rockies defeat our Dodgers 9-4, to finish the best of three series. The Rockies went 2-1 against us. And, just scrolling on social media, just seeing what people are saying about us, and even some Dodger fans. I've been seeing them stressing out. When I'm seeing that, I'm just like, man, there are a lot of people out there who don't know baseball, huh? I mean, are we really going to sit here and panic over three games? I mean, even if this was game 20, I wouldn't be panicking. It's such a long season. Games like this are designed to happen. It's a 162 game season. Things are supposed to happen like this, okay? Things are not supposed to be perfect. We're not supposed to go 162 and 0. I don't understand why people are expecting that. Just because it's the Rockies and the Rockies might not be the best team in the league, it doesn't mean that they're not a pretty solid team at home. They're actually a pretty solid team at home. They had a winning record at home last season, and their lineup is not half bad either, especially after adding Kris Bryant to it. Granted, they did lose Trevor Story, but still, that's still a pretty solid team. Nonetheless, they take 2 out of 3, and I'm not surprised. Because the Dodgers don't normally start off the best that they probably could. Most of these seasons, they probably don't start most of these seasons like the way we would want them to, which is with, an extremely good record. But it's okay because last season they won 106 games, their franchise record, and they started the season 17-16. So that kind of just goes to show that just because they started 1-2, it doesn't tell us whatsoever how the rest of the season's gonna go. Are you guys kidding me right now? I can't believe I have to sit here and keep repeating myself because that should just be already a given. We should not be panicking at this point of the game. But let's just go ahead and get into the game itself. Obviously Julio Urias pitched. Not a good game from him. Right, his first start of the season. 3 earned runs, allowed 6 runs in total in 2 innings. It just was not a good game. He just could not get any kind of momentum established. He couldn't find the strike zone as well as he could have. Right, obviously, it isn't Coors Field. Okay, I understand that, and it is emphasized so much that because spring training was shortened this offseason, it's tougher for pitchers to kind of ease themselves into this season, right? So that's why you might see some scoring outbursts one game, and then you might see no scoring in the next game. It really just depends on the pitcher, their readiness, just those kind of things overall. And Julio Urias just did not look prepared. You could see it while he was on the mound, and I'm not gonna put the blame on him because I'm not surprised that this happened. Okay, obviously Coors Field is known to be a hitter-friendly park. Okay, so the disadvantage was already with Julio Urias. Then the fact that spring training was shortened, that's also another disadvantage for Julio Urias. But, I'm not going to sit here and just keep making excuses. We lost. I'm going to accept the loss, right? Because, the same case could be made with the the Colorado pitchers. They're in similar situations. All I'm simply saying is, just because of Urias' one bad game, obviously allowing the Rockies 9 runs at their home field where they're an above 500 team, I'm not worried. And nor should you guys be. Because the fact that we're sitting here, I'm having to sit here and say, don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. It's pretty pathetic. But let's go over specific players in general. Let's talk about Mookie Betts first. People are not liking Mookie Betts. Okay? He had multiple opportunities to bring in runs, right? He left 5 men on base. 1 out of 5 with 3 strikeouts. Not a Mookie Betts game whatsoever. In fact, I don't understand it, but people are starting to get a little annoyed at Mookie Betts. Obviously, he had a down year last year, but it was still an all-star caliber season. And people are starting to wonder, okay, well, now you're starting the season bad enough 21. So what can you get back to what you once used to be? And I can't believe I'm going to say this again, but what are you guys on? To think that Mookie Betts is going to continue playing the way he is? I mean, this is not like Chris Davis. Okay, this is Mookie Betts we're talking about here. He will get his act together. Freddie Freeman, obviously he brought 2-3 runs in with that weak liner out to left field. Obviously dropped by Kris Bryant. The wind was acting up. couple of misplays by the left fielders, by Chris Taylor and Chris Bryant. So it is what it is. Freddie Freeman, hey, whatever. Trey Turner, 1 of 4. Max Muncy. Let's talk about Max Muncy because I know, people are going to be criticizing Max Muncy and whatever the case is. Um, you know, to I didn't even expect him to be playing this early on in the regular season. If I'm being honest with you, the fact that he got injured on the last day of the regular season last season, right? He got injured in the last game. I didn't think he was going to come back this quick, but he did. He just does not look the same. It's going to take him time, and especially playing in an altitude like Colorado, right? Because they were playing in Arizona this entire time during spring training, right? So they have to get used to it again, and let the season kind of get going again. Max Muncy is playing pretty poorly right now. Obviously, last game he made a couple big mistakes with the error that could have gotten the double play, right? That which could have prevented a run, and you had the bases full, and he didn't utilize the opportunity. So those two crucial mistakes last game kind of carried on to this game. Obviously, leaving a couple men on. 0 of 4. Batting 7.7%, which is, I'm not going to look at batting averages so early on in the season, because if you look at a player like Shohei Ohtani, his batting average is like 12%. So I'm not going to sit here and emphasize that. All I'm going to simply say is Max Muncy's not 100%. We all know it. The Dodgers understand it. Max Muncy's doing his best. He will get back to what Max Muncy usually does, okay? I promise you that. It's just going to take a little bit of time, and with this lineup, we can afford for him to kind of ease into it. Justin Turner, it's nice to see him just get some hits, right? These past couple games, he did struggle a little bit, but just to see him get a couple hits, good thing. And let me talk about Cody Bellinger, okay? Because let me just tell you something. I know, like, if you look at the score, you're going to see it's a 9-4 loss. Oh, what is there good to take away from this? Well, let's talk about how Cody Bellinger had 3 at-bats, 1 walk, and 2 hits with a run. Cody Bellinger, I've been noticing his stance is becoming a little more consistent. And, he's been making contact. If you look at his, his play in the spring training, he couldn't even make contact, right? Because he was still trying to figure things out. But these past 2 games, I've been seeing him. He's been making contact. And it's just been overdue for him to have, a night like this where he can just go over there and get some hits, get it going. And that's all it takes for a baseball player sometimes, when you're in that big of a slump, or when you're, and Cody Bellinger's also been injured too, when you're in that big of a regression, right? All it takes is a few hits in a few games to get your season going again, right? We saw it in the postseason. Cody Bellinger played absolutely great in the postseason. Hopefully that can transition over to this season, right? Cody Bellinger, he had a good game. He was hitting the ball, drawing walks, right? So I'm just saying, yes, we did lose 9-4, but to have Cody Bellinger hit a few times, to have him get a walk, it's just good to see because of the fact that it's just a confidence thing. It's a mentality thing. So yes, it's gonna be good for Cody Bellinger's progression moving forward. So I'm excited about that. But other than that, it is what it is. After I believe after 3 innings, we're losing 6-0. And we had more hits than them at that point. We left 17 men on base. So, obviously, not what you want to see if you're the Dodgers. But, it is what it is. We lost 9-4. We had more hits, right? But we just couldn't create runs. And that's all it comes down to. And, games like this happen. And this is the beauty of baseball is that, you can't just, you look at a schedule and say W, W, W. You can't do that. You got to respect every opponent that you got. And Colorado is not trash by any means. I think they're okay, right? If they're in a different, easier division, I think they'd be a little talked about more. But obviously, given us in the division, the Giants, the Padres, no one talks about the Rockies. But that's all I have for this one. Drop a like if you guys enjoyed it. Comment down below what your guys' thoughts were on the Rockies taking 2 out of 3 from us in this series. And subscribe for more. Alright guys, peace out. And as always, go Dodgers.